Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 305. And in this one, we will be previewing the toughest test of the season so far. And that is obviously Cardiff away, top of the league. I would say high flying. They were at the start of the season, a majority of the season, but they're actually not now. Lincoln are only 2 points obviously behind them. Lincoln do have a home game as well, against a team that are in the playoff conversation in Bolton. So some interesting games, especially them two games in particular, I would say, especially if what our aims are. Whether they happen or not is a different question right now. But if that does happen, obviously we do need to improve on the away form, that is, and it needs to really start as soon as possible, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, before we get into all of that, how have you been, Dad, the last few days?
Yeah, all good, mate.
Good. Let's go through some comments because there is a lot of comments while we was getting ready to come on. Evening all, says Paul. Harry says, evening lads, hope you're both well. Yep, we're good, mate. Hope you're well. Same to you as well, Jackie. G1 says, hi folks, I'm actually going to the game as I only live an hour away from Cardiff. Been a long time. Chances are the Hatters won't win, but I think they should give it a go. Yeah, well, obviously we'll mainly talk about the game today. Obviously that's why we're here. But I might as well just kick it off by saying, I know I say this in a lot of games recently. I said it in the Blackpool game, and we didn't really do it in the Blackpool game. But we have to start well. We have to start well in this game. We cannot afford to have another game like we've had a lot away from home this season in terms of not even having a shot, until the second half, or some games like the Exeter away game, not even having a shot on target the whole game. I mean, we need to be on it. And let's be honest, obviously, the Wilshire comments, there's been a lot of people talk about that. Obviously, you brought up the fans mentioning it last time. And the thing is with that, I don't mind it. It's confidence, but, he's got to hope the team are on it, because if we end up, getting battered or losing in not good way, that'll come back and bite him on the arse. So we need to be on it. We need to show that we should be, competing with them in terms of, on the pitch. Obviously, the league is done. We're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near top two. We're playoffs. That's where we got to focus on. But in terms of showing why we should be competing with them and why we should have been throughout, fair enough. We got to show it. And I mean, the last game against them, I remember their keeper. He was unbelievable that day. He made so many, massive saves. And we were actually in the game. It was just, I remember coming out of that and just thinking, the selection wasn't right. As much as we played well, obviously we had Bloomfield then anyway, so it's different. And we're a better side now. So I do expect it to, again, be another close game. And even games they have won, recently, obviously a takeaway last week, but that's Rotherham, and Rotherham are awful. Predominantly they've had close games against sides. So I expect us, to be able to show that. But yeah, the thing that's worrying, like we said the other day, is the away form. So it's one of them where we just need to, we need to start well for me. If we can start well, silence the crowd a little bit, have a few chances, then who knows, sort of thing. That's how I see it going. Obviously, they've got their striker out for this game, which I think is massive. He probably would have scored against us, given the form he has been on. And yeah, I mean, obviously they've got Osho at the club, who seems like he's starting to play now regularly. Obviously, he didn't start when he first come in. And we know, I thought he was all right for us, but there was games where he could be exploited, so hopefully we can, know that, especially players like Clark. I would say Elijah, but obviously he's not quite back for this one. Obviously, Wilshire has said that. But it sounds like it's really not too far away now, which is obviously good. So yeah, we'll see with that, but it could have been good to have him in. He'd obviously dealt with him in training all the time, and they'd have, come up against each other in the training, know their weaknesses and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, we have to start well. I say it a lot, but like I say, if there is a game in particular, with the comments that have been made as well, we have to start well. We have to show that we should be competing with them. And we should be. We really, really should be. Let's be honest, with both teams that have gone down, we've actually managed to, keep a few players we obviously wanted to keep, like Clark, and then obviously bring in decent players as well, players that are showing that they're too good for this level, Palmer, and obviously they kept, a decent amount of their squad as well. And, it's one end where we just got to show that we can, compete with them, really. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I totally agree, mate. I mean, I can already see there being people going, oh, yeah, but it's Cardiff, it's top of the league. No, no, when your manager's making comments like that, which again, I don't mind, it shows confidence, but you have to back that up. You have to get the players to back that up, and again, I am glad in a way. Obviously, I don't wish injuries on no one, but I am glad that Walsh isn't available in a way because I've got to be honest, the away games have been poor. He has been poor for me. The home games have been really good, but the away games have been really poor. Obviously, the form Palmer's been on as well. You have to play them, guy. You have to play him. And it will be interesting to see what we play. Obviously, we'll get into our lineups, but in terms of do we go 4-1-4-1 again? I mean, me personally, I'll say it now. I think we should because that is how we won the last away game we won against Stockport, playing that formation. Um, and having Palmer in his own role at this moment in time. Yes, it's been 2 home games, but even the away games, you've seen he's been pretty good when he's played deep. Obviously, the Huddersfield game he didn't play deeper, but the Plymouth game there was obviously signs of that on his debut. So yeah, it's one of them, man. It's one of them where we have to be on it for me. We have to show why we should be competing with them really. So yeah, it's one of them really. But I mean, yeah, we say it a lot, don't we, Dad, about starting well.
Yeah, they're unbeaten in quite a few games, albeit that they've played a lot of the lower teams in there as well. Rotherham, Burton, Wigan, Exeter, you know. Um, the better teams, they lost to Lincoln. That's quite significant. Um, Drew Stockport, um, narrowly beat Bradford, but they're on a bit of a down. And there's been goals in their games. They've hammered a couple of teams to nil, bit like we have at home. But majority of the games are close. They've got a lot of players out. Key players. I know they've said, yeah, we've still won without them, but that that won't carry on for all the time. But they've got some experience in there, and Wilshire's right to it. On paper, we have got a squad that matches theirs easily, if not better than. We just haven't started as well. And our away form is absolute dog shit. But you've got to turn it around at some point. It's not going to last forever. Um, and it's probably a good opportunity to play it. Um, you know, both teams will be looking to play it down on the floor, so it's going to be interesting because that's the way they play. They've got Colwell out, who's been out for quite a long time as well. I think he's a good player, but I think he was overhyped a little bit, to be honest with you, because they don't seem to be missing him. I know they've got his brother there as well, who's not really rated, but I think he's stepped in and is doing all right there. Like say Osho, I mean he's quite a good defender, but I think if you put that team in the championship, I think they're struggling. Um, and for me, they're like kind of papering over the cracks a little bit. They wanted the geezer out, the owner out, when they were getting relegated and stuff like that. I don't think they've signed a couple of players, obviously, but majority of that team's still the same team. Um, and if anyone's going to beat them at their own ground with the record that we do have against them overall, especially away, then it is us. So yeah, we've got to see that performance. But we've heard that the players are looking forward to it. Obviously, Wilshere just said what he said. He's obviously geeing them up. They obviously believe that they can compete with them, but they've just got to go out and show it. And I think with the squad togetherness that we do seem to have, we've turned it around at home. It's time to turn it around away. So who knows what can happen? But I can't see they won't be battering us. No chance. Clip it up. It's not happening. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, I've spoke to a few Cardiff fans. I said that obviously the other day. A lot of them not confident. I spoke to some more throughout the week, and they said, in terms of our record as well, like you've mentioned, it's actually pretty good. But hopefully for us, like say we did get a win, which would be massive. It would be massive. We can actually capitalize on it because obviously when we beat them last year, we thought at that period it was massive, obviously in terms of the bottom. But hopefully now this can sort of, what's the word, G us on to, go on and try and achieve what we're trying to achieve in terms of the playoffs. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, originally when we won last week, which was arguably, despite us not winning like 4-0, like Leighton Orient, Wickham games, 3-0, etc., I probably felt that was the best performance of the season. It was literally only at the end, where we were, not so great, but like keeping that sort of level up for pretty much a whole game was brilliant. And when we come out of that game, I'm thinking Cardiff's not really the game you want next. But at the same time, throughout the week, with all these injuries, with the record we do have there, if there is a chance to turn it around, because I'm pretty sure even when we played them last year, we weren't great away. Obviously, I don't think it was as bad as this year, but it was. I remember actually that period. It was sort of like, will we finally do something? I think we both predicted a draw, or I certainly did at that period. And obviously we've still got Clark. Now I'm not saying he's obviously going to do that type of goal again because that's very hard to do, but obviously he'll know a bit of it. And like I say, they have kept a lot of the players, that they did have. Obviously, like you say, a few are out, but there is that opportunity there. And like I say, Osho was at the club long enough for us to know where his weaknesses are, especially players like Clark. Unfortunately, like I say, there will be no Elijah. It'd have been good to have him in this game, to bring on last 20 minutes to sort of, maybe deal with him type thing. But you've got the players there. You have the players there to do that. The wingers, I expect them to be really effective. There has been comments. I haven't seen him in the presser, but a few people sent it to me. Apparently, like he was saying about using Kadoa more in a 10 role. Now, obviously, we've seen that throughout the season anyway. So I don't mind it. But my only worry with it is right now we have no left-sided player that we have faith in. Let's be honest now. Lawrence, the games they catch up with him every time. Bramall's obviously out. And Kadora's been playing there. So for me personally, I'd like to continue to keep him there for now until at least Bramall's back. I wouldn't mind it when Jones is back into the swing of things. Maybe gets a goal to put him there because he has played there, and then you could put Kadora centrally, maybe give Richards a rest, for example, as the season goes on. But right now, I want to keep him on that left side, I've got to be honest, especially with the lack of options there anyway. So it's one of them really. But yeah, I mean, in terms of a lineup, we might as well get into our lineups for this game. So in terms of them for this game, do get involved in the chat as well with your lineups for this game as well. But we have gone with the same lineup this week for the game. So let me just get it up. But yeah, it's one of them as well, like we do, where we'd obviously love two up front, but it's very, very unlikely. If there's any game coming up, and I think I said it the other day, I think we could do it in. It's possibly the Burton game because they do actually play two up front. Whereas the teams we've got coming up, obviously Cardiff, they play one up front. Wigan, I'm pretty sure they play one up front. So I don't expect us to actually do that until that game. Because obviously when we played Stockport, we matched them, and that's why we won the game as well, because we matched, what they were doing. In terms of, when we were playing more defensively, we were playing the 4-1-4-1, but when we were going forward, it was obvious it was three at the back. And obviously they played three at the back of that period, matched them, etc. So I believe when we'll do, the Burton game, I'm hoping. But yeah, in terms of the lineup for this game, so Keeley in goal, obviously as expected. Very unlucky last week, like I said, not to get a clean sheet. There has been a few games he's got a clean sheet, and it's not been him personally. It's just been the whole defence and I guess him in ways where I've been like very surprised we got a clean sheet, to be honest. But he thoroughly deserved one last week. I felt sorry for him. So obviously he's in goal. Longwick, like I say, obviously my doubts with him there, but he's not been too bad, overall there. But again, like I say, the better teams. But again, there's no one else. There's no one else to play there. There's no Hakeem still. He's back in training, but he's not available for this game. I'm hoping he'll be back around about the Plymouth game, in the cup game to play him in that. To be honest, that's what I would do. I think he played in one of the games in there previously in that role, that right back role. And then obviously Anderson and Mengi, that goes without saying. Hopefully they can continue their good form. Hopefully Anderson can have a better game than his last away game. But yeah, hopefully Mengi can have one end game, slide tackles, vital slide tackles at points. Johnson obviously on the left, that goes without saying. And then obviously Palmer in his own role. I'd stick with that. You know, you do for me, even though we are away, I'd still stick with that. And then Kadara on the left, we both agreed with that. You know, again, going back to, well, what I've said on my opinion on it, the lack of options we've got there right now anyway. You know, I feel he has been decent there, even though he was getting doubled up on the last game. He's still done well to actually get hold of the ball and stuff. Whereas previous games when he's got doubled up on, he's been quite anonymous, and then we've had to move him to the cam, and he's done well. But I still felt he was good the other day. You know, very unlucky not to score, like I said at the time. Morris on the right, you know, like we said the other day, that was his best start for me. You know, 100%. So you play him again. Until Jones is maybe back more in it, then I'd maybe chop and change between them in games. But right now, I'm sticking with Morris. Richards goes without saying. Same with Jordan Clark, obviously the captain. And then we would stick with Cole up front. And a large part of that is because, well, for me personally, I don't really like the one up front anyway, as we know. But you know, if we are playing balls up there, you know, which obviously, you know, it sounds like we're going to play it on the ground, but I do expect us at some points to maybe try and go long. You know, Cole can try and get him behind. You know, obviously he's quite pacey and things like that. So, yeah, and the thing with Wells, like you know, he has been good in terms of link-up play, but I don't know, man. I mean, you know, they're quite similar to the Huddersfield fans and the Huddersfield lot when they were talking about, you know, Wells, oh, he could score, he could do this, and he didn't. So I haven't got faith in him to do it again, and I'd rather stick with Cole, to be honest. I don't think he had the worst debut. It just, to me, it just shows that the one up front, we're going to struggle, especially away from home. Home, it might work, but ultimately away, I just don't feel it will work personally. But that's what we believe we will go with. So, yeah, anything you want to add on that, Dad?
No, obviously it's the same team that started against Bradford as well. You know, it's hard to change a winning team, especially when that it worked. Richards, mate, he could swap him up, maybe put someone else in there. I'm not really too who would. Walsh is it obviously still out, so
And we don't have Lamine anymore. Sometimes he'd go there.
Yeah, so you know he's still young, energetic, makes sense. Definitely in that formation. And Cole, you know, his second game, it's going to be tough again for him. So you've got to be a bit patient with him because it's his second game, first game away. But yeah, we just need to, you know, sit with the lads there and just, you know, play with that confidence that we have been playing with at home.
Yeah. Yep. No, exactly. And that's, you know, sounds like what Wilshire's sort of tried to implement a lot throughout the week. You know, them home performances, obviously away. You know, obviously expect different things, but yeah, we have to show them performance levels, man. Like I think it's one of them games, right? Say for example, like we play really well and we get a draw. I don't think anyone will really grumble at that. You know, they're best team in the league and in terms of home form as well, unbeaten in their last five. So it's one of them. You know, it is the biggest test for us so far, I do believe, in the league. You know, you can't really say it's not, given their position and things like that. But let's go through some comments. Massive game this and a real opportunity for the Luton players to show what they're seriously made of. Big performance needed. And to be honest, you need to win. I know it's Cardiff, but in my opinion, you do. No, I hear it in a way. I hear what you're saying because the gap will just get bigger. You know, the gap will just get bigger. But it is one of them. Like I said, I would take a draw. I got to be honest, I would. As long as we beat Wigan, like I don't care if we're poor away, we have to be beating them. You know, again, I spoke to a Wigan fan yesterday. They're not confident. They're not confident whatsoever. And they've got Arsenal on Sunday, I think it is. Now, obviously, I expect them to rotate. But hopefully Arsenal can run and ragged a little bit. That could help us. You know, they're in free fall. So, yeah, that's what I'll say. I would go with the same lineup, says Jackie. Ryan says, I'm back on since been studying in school. Luton pull off the shock result, in my opinion, if they know how to play football again. Yeah, hopefully, mate. I reckon he'll go with Wells for some reason. I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised. I think Wilshere will start Lawrence instead of Morris. The thing is, you did say that once before, and he did start him. I think it was on the left. It was a home game anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, with them comments, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, saying about Kadoa more in a 10. I don't mind Kadoa there, but with the lack of options we have on the left, we haven't got faith in Lawrence. Let's be honest, and that's no disrespect to him. It's like we said, we're deciding anyway. It benefits Man City in the long term. It don't benefit us. It's not like we can get him at the end of the season like we possibly could with Palmer. It's just one of them, man. Yeah, me personally, got to start Morris, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's be honest, right? There's always one thing we look at in the lineup and we like, oh, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised. Um, so yeah, yeah, exactly, mate, exactly, 100% agree with that. But yeah, might as well get into that time, Dad. Score predictions. We got a good record against Cardiff, but we are expecting the toughest game of the season so far. So, can our history books with our good record continue, and can we get a result?
Yeah, well, they're unbeaten for over 10 games, whatever. So obviously it's not going to be easy, but we are capable. They're not Man City, do you know what I mean? They're not Birmingham from last season and that. So we are capable of beating them. I feel more confident than I would have done, obviously, despite our away form. But they do seem to fight back, even against other teams. They win 4-3 or 3-2 and stuff like that. But I think with them just lacking that extra edge that they need with the players that they're going to be missing, I think we're about to get a draw. So I'm going to go 2-2.
Nice. Goals galore. That'll be very interesting, by the way, if it's a 2-2 draw, because we don't. But I think both of us are top for clean sheets in terms of the season. But it has got them type of vibes where a lot of goals could be conceded. Obviously, players missing for both sides. As for me, I am going to say a defeat, unfortunately. I'm going to say 2-1 to them. But I would certainly take a draw. Obviously, me personally, I think we'll lose anyway. But as long as we beat Wigan during the week, and I know we're poor away, but they are in freefall. And as we speak right now, they're still managerless. So, yeah, that's how I see it, unfortunately. But yeah, your 2 goal scorers, Dad?
I'm going to go with Clark. Just yeah,
inevitable, isn't it?
Unlucky in the last game. And I'm going to go with Kadua.
Nice. Yeah, do you know what? He deserved one last week. Like a few players did, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, we probably should have scored more last week. In fact, we should have. But, it was a good performance, and hopefully we can follow that through. So, yeah, that's what I say with that. Exploding Kitten says 1-1. Cardiff don't have the players to win, but neither do we. He says so 1-1 draw. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Jackie says, I'm going to lose my points this week. I'm going to go for a 3-2 away win. Oh, that'll be mental. That'll be mental. You never know. I'd say we have got a good record there, but yeah, like I say, I think we'll lose personally. But Harry's gone for a win as well. He's gone 2-1 to us, what it was last season. Doa and Palmer to score. Yeah, again, Palmer deserves a goal, man. He certainly does. But again, I think I said it last week with him, because we expect him to play in that more deeper role. It's a bit harder for him to score, even though he is making attacks happen and things like that. Yeah, I mean, we got a good record there, mate. So you never know. And obviously, you said to me before we went on here, obviously Burton played him recently. Obviously got a draw, and obviously beat him. Let's not forget that, guys. But obviously beat him earlier on in the season with low possession, like very low possession. So it's definitely possible. And like I say, majority of their games, they're close. So I expect it to be a close game. If we can, have the players performing, but we need to start well for me. We need to start well. And I know it's away, but, we have to. We have to, we can't be having a shot on target in the 70th minute. The first one, we need to be bang on it, really, for me. Go at them, sort of thing. Go at them. Jordan, Kadoa, and Cole. Yeah, it'd be good if Cole scored. It would definitely be good. And then Paul's gone 2-1 Luton. So, yeah, they are the score predictions. Quick thing before we go, Dad. Obviously, it all depends if we do progress against Plymouth. But obviously, the semi-final draw, Northampton at home, if we progress. I mean, good opportunity. I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you sort of feel, obviously we have a lot of games in that period, we've got less of a squad now, so do you expect us to go a bit more stronger, I guess, than we have in previous rounds?
Yeah, definitely. In both games, all the way, you've got to go for it. and it's one game as well, isn't it? It's not two legs. We're at home. They're struggling. We're quite capable of beating them. But obviously, we've got to get past Plymouth first. They've got a couple of injuries. I think they just sold someone. Fans weren't too impressed with that as well. So yeah, we have been a bit shit against them, but we are at home, and it's we've got a chance to be third time lucky, if you say. So yeah, no, I'm happy with that draw. And obviously, I think Stockport are the favourites at the moment. Just
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
but obviously it makes sense. But yeah, could be all Hatters final. So let's go for it. And if we don't get up in the playoffs, you know, kind of expect to do something in this competition anyway. Really, with the squad we've got, etc. So it'd be a little bit of a consolation and go next season. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a good draw, but don't you still got to win it. Do you know what I mean? They've got that far for a reason. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's certainly. I think it's one of them. If you ask, pretty much every Luton fan, who would you want? They'd say, Northampton. Let's be honest. And obviously we played them in the league. We've still got to play them at home anyway in the league. But even that, I thought they were pretty poor. I've got to be honest. So if we can get past Plymouth, which is obviously difficult, we've struggled twice. Let's be honest. But like you say, the fact we're at home, I do honestly think, and I said it in the video when we got put back in the draw, I do think if we was away, we'd probably lose. Or go to penalties at best, or something like that. But yeah, I mean, if we get past them, I think we've got a very good opportunity, especially the fact it's at home, it's one leg. I thought it was two legs, but it's only one leg as well. You'd rather get them than even Doncaster away, man. That would have been difficult. We still got to play them in the league anyway. And obviously, they did beat Huddersfield at Huddersfield as well. So that's definitely the one I would have liked if we can get past Plymouth. Like I say, I will be at that Plymouth game. So hopefully we can, because I think this is the saving grace of the season. Like, I can't be confident with us going up right now with our away form. And it's we've had great opportunities in that trophy. Let's be honest. We obviously got kicked out of it. Well, not kicked out of it, but on the night, obviously went out, got put back in, and then we've had every game at home bar the Cambridge game. But the Cambridge game was a group stage game, so it's a great opportunity for me. It really is, and obviously, if we get that far, I'm not saying we will, but if we do, we got a good record at Wembley. So there'll be that confidence anyway, naturally going into it. And like I've said since the start, obviously when I was younger, when I wore that shirt, I want to relive that. Obviously, not wear that shirt because I can't wear it anymore. But in terms of being at Wembley again, for that trophy, obviously he was there with the playoffs. But in terms of being there again, that'd be limbs. That'd be absolute limbs. And this time there would be fan cams. So that'd be even better if we got there. So yeah, let's go through last load of comments. It's a 2-1 Cardiff win. Says M1. I think Luton will put up a fight and finally get a goal on the road. But Cardiff's just clinical right now. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I've gone 2-1 as well. Can't blame you. Kadoa and Clark to get the goal, says Paul. So yeah, I'm not sure. Is he still injured at the moment, Talaj, though? Because didn't he get injured in the game against us? I'm pretty sure.
He's still injured, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it is like, if we get past Plymouth, I think it's written for us to get Stockport in the final. You know how, like, when they all wanted to see Rex and Birmingham in it, they didn't quite see that, but they're all gassing that up. And everyone will be like, the Hatters derby, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can just see it. To be honest. If after last week, if we play like we did, Cardiff could get shocked. Yeah, totally agree, Jackie. Totally agree. And again, it goes back to what you said and what I've said a lot throughout the stream. We have to start well. Like, we have to try and get that crowd a bit silenced, have a few opportunities. And who knows, man? Because let's be honest, right? Our last away win, yeah, we weathered the storm in the first, 10 to 20 minutes against Stockport, but then we were just right on them. If we can have something like that, I mean, I'd even take that, to be quite honest with you. But as long as it's not till the second half where we have a shot on target, but a large part of that, I think, will be with that one up front. So, yeah, we'll have to see.
Stockport second at the time with a chance to go top.
Yeah.
Sure of it.
Yeah.
That statement there, and that was with a much, poorly organised team we had then, etc., but You know, Richards scored in that game as well.
Yeah,
Was
he
it
did, yeah.
Richards?
Jones
Kadua?
Jones scored. I can't remember who scored the other goal.
I think it was Kadua. I think.
We double check while you do
But
that.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I know Jones definitely scored. I think he scored the third. Yeah, just to sort of put the nail in the coffin. Like say, Richard scored. Bramall free kick. Of course it
oh yeah,
was
that's it.
one of
Yeah,
his great
yeah.
free kicks. Yeah, it was the second goal. Yeah, where I didn't see it because it kept
And that,
messing up
that was, you know, it's the best away performance of the season.
at that time. Yeah. Well, and now, yeah,
We're better now, so
yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if we did do them, and it'd be a massive lift for us. And I think that would carry the momentum. And I think it's important that we won that last game in the manner that we did as well. So yeah, let's see. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Like I say, it's Cardiff. It's not Man City.
Yeah. And even looking at this lineup quickly in that game, right? So Naismith was apparently playing left back. Now, obviously, he don't really start now. Obviously, it's Johnson. Saville was obviously playing in that game. Again, he don't really start anymore. And obviously, Lamine was playing in that game. He's obviously gone. You know, so you look at them three there and you're thinking, well, they're not here anymore. Well, two of them are, but they're not, regular starters in terms of the team sheet every week. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. Because that was like, early days, weren't it, of Wilshire as well. Like, so, yeah, man, it's one of them. So, yeah. Ryan says, I hope that's the case. Yeah, no, 100%, mate. 100% agree with this. Yeah, exactly. We can win any game in this league. Yeah, 100%, mate. I mean, even like I said earlier, even the Cardiff game in the reverse fixture, right? Obviously, we had Bloomfield, so a different manager, and we were quite unlucky that day. I just think certain selections he made weren't great, and that's why we lost. But like their keeper, he was unbelievable that day.
Yeah, he's all right there, keeper. Yeah.
Trot, yeah. It's even like when you play. Yeah, it's like when we played Middlesbrough last year and we drew 0-0. Their keeper was unbelievable. Travers, who we were actually linked with before we got Kaminsky. There is certain games like that, but hopefully it's not like that tomorrow. But yeah, any final things, Dad, you want to say before we wrap up? No, nothing from me either, except the content coming up. So obviously we've got to watch along tomorrow. And then obviously I have my match reaction. Shout out to Mike, by the way. He messaged me earlier. He said a lot of people have noticed him through the TikTok and the YouTube and that. They went to him, are you that Luton fan that was on TikTok? So obviously that's throughout the week and stuff. So yeah, fair play. And yeah, obviously the Burton game, we'll be doing reaction with him there as well. So that'd be good. But yeah, like I say, match reaction. Obviously we got the, the watch along, like I say. And then we'll probably do the hat show on Tuesday because I'm out on Monday, and I didn't realise we were actually playing on Wednesday. I thought it was actually on Tuesday next week. So yeah, we'll do the hat show, like I say, on the Tuesday. And obviously, we'll have a watch on the Wednesday, match reaction again, and then on the Friday we'll get into the Burton game, and then obviously we'll both be at the Burton game. So hopefully, like I've said loads of times now, you can actually witness a win this season, Dad. And then obviously we got we have the hat shows, Plymouth game as well, which I will be at. So yeah, man, the next two upcoming home games I will be at. So hopefully we can get some good results there. But it all starts tomorrow. Hopefully we can get at least something out of the game. I would take that as long as we beat Wigan. So yeah, man. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel, and yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow for the watch along. So until then, take care and peace.